So we're just sitting here trying to figure out exactly what to do with this video. If you missed last week's short little update, you should go back and watch it. Basically, we lost a hard drive with 6 months of footage, and 7 weeks of that had not been compiled into videos yet and put on YouTube. So we're going to take you back in time and use a few little clips and some great storytelling to get you up to speed. Holy shit! What is going on? Smoke! Mick, it was 1000% the right call to stop. Imagine if that all happened just as we crossed the border outside of Tijuana. That would have been real exciting.
All I was worried about when we were deciding whether to come in or keep going is I didn't want anything else to go wrong and just be exhausted and having to deal with it.
Good now, universe. Thank you. We are aware we should not be going to Mexico. We're not going today. We're not going today. We get it. I'm Kate, and this is my husband, Mick. Our kids, Thomas and Bentley. 5 years ago, we had this crazy idea to travel the world with our kids, and never did we imagine our mode of transportation would be a sailboat. These are my parents. It's been their lifelong dream to sail across oceans. And so together, a dream was born. Come along with us as we learn, laugh,
I play with boats.
and explore. And hey, don't forget to hit subscribe. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in San Diego. We woke up this morning, we're feeling good. We're gonna get the alternator fixed, and we're confident we'll be on our way sometime this week. We're not really sure what the next couple days hold, but everyone was really worried about that little bit of smoke. We're all good. We were like 2 minutes away from where we could put the anchor down, and it just reaffirmed that we definitely made the right decision to not continue on to Ensenada. So it's all good. We'll get it fixed. It was just a bit of smoke, no fire or anything. And clearly by we are going to get the alternator fixed, I mean Master Mick is.
Everything's a team effort on a boat.
You okay?
Yeah.
You look kind of like all hunched over and scared.
Yeah.
The boat's moving a fair bit. That doesn't help. It's kind of rolly. Are you okay today?
Golden, mate.
Yeah, we were fine. We were kind of laughing last night. It was totally fine. We were never in danger. So what's your game plan?
Yeah, there's a lot of rubber from the belt that's kind of worked its way around. So just trying to clean some of that off. Haven't decided yet whether I'm going to pull the whole thing out or not. There's a lot of wires connected to it. I took a bunch of photos in case we want to do that.
Okay.
I think in the end I will be doing that and just
Doors are opening and closing.
just checking to see. Yeah, just to make sure it's clean and good before I put it back in. Might as well give us our best chance. So
Yep.
while we're here.
I don't know how we did this so fast. I think we were only in San Diego for 2 nights.
From when I pulled the engine hatch up and smoke went poosh, we were on our way within 48 hours with the problem diagnosed, the alternator removed, the regulator removed. You ended up getting a replacement and a new regulator, and me scratching my head and getting the whole thing installed. Programmed the new regulator within 48 hours of the smoke to when we're on our way again. I can't believe
It was
that.
crazy. Everything worked out so well.
After a few hours of diagnostics and checking all connections, replacing fuses and belts, we determined that the alternator was dead. We believe the regulator failed, and this caused the alternator to fry. So the hunt began for a replacement alternator and regulator. Luckily, we were in the boat refit mecca, and we were able to find an exact replacement in stock in a nearby marine store.
Good job.
Everything is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Honestly, don't know what else to do now. Wow.
It's looking good. It's looking like we might be able to leave tonight. You can see why we were so bummed to have to stop. This is the weather now. And when we were going before, it was like so beautiful, warm. We had the most epic sunset. Would have been a really epic night with a full moon and no clouds. Tonight will be different, but that's okay. Fog is burning off. Hopefully it doesn't come back in tonight. It was really foggy last night. The boat is back up and running, and we're very thankful that that issue didn't happen halfway down the Baja, where there is really no resources. So we're very fortunate. The reason we were kind of like rushing, if you will, or we felt like we just really wanted to go was, one, we were so ready to leave. We were so amped and excited for Mexico. And two, we had this amazing weather window. The most consistent, fabulous wind.
Yeah, it was like 10 to 15 knots from the northwest right behind us. Perfect conditions to put our whisker pole up. And it was like that for a week.
And we just did not want to miss any more of it. So we'd already lost 2 full days of a great weather window, which is a lot. We kind of rushed. We were rushing around. We were not messing about. So take 2 of crossing the Mexican border went much smoother. It's turning out to be a pretty great night. Woohoo! We had a great sail there. It was like 12 hours. And then we got to Ensenada, and checking in Ensenada was a total whirlwind. Look at this sunrise. Mexico is welcoming us. We're docked. Mick, you did an insanely good job. That was so tight. So
Thanks.
tight, and you killed it. Did you feel like you could do that again if you needed to?
Yep.
He's improved a lot with his
Yeah.
docking skills.
I mean, no wind, there's no current, so... And I couldn't get the swing room to get in. It was kind of had to stop and then go, and then go.
It was amazing. The check-in process in Mexico was pretty straightforward. We had to wait on our boat until we had our health check, and then we were free to go and check in with the port captain. The health officials came, we're cleared, we're allowed to leave the boat. So we go up to the office now and we get our passports back, and then they have a van that takes us from the marina to immigration, which is across town, I think. So we'll see how long this takes. Are we officially?
We're done. We're
Welcome
all done.
to
We've got
Mexico.
Our 6-month visas. We've got our tip, which enables our boat to be in Mexican waters for 10 years. So we've got to make sure we check out with that.
Yes.
Give it back.
It was like, we were only there for 1 night.
Because, yeah, we wanted to leave the next day early.
We did not want to lose any more of our time of this great weather window. And that city is crazy. We all were so overwhelmed. It was a lot. The culture shock was a lot. Luckily, we had our friends on Rum Barrel who have spent a lot of time in Mexico, and they know Spanish pretty good, and they were able to show us around the city, help us get some pesos, and we all enjoyed our first Mexican dinner together. And then we left Ensenada, and it was 2 days and 2 nights to Turtle Bay, right?
Pretty much 3 full days and 2 nights.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This passage just made us so thankful that we caught this weather window. I think it was really the first time like that the 4 of us just really settled into a passage. The kids are not getting seasick anymore.
Not at all.
They were loving it. We were loving it. We settled into night watches and our shifts, and it was so good. We put our sails up. We were flying wing on wing, and we did not touch them the entire time.
Yeah, Ensenada's like a little bay, so once we headed west out of that and then started to turn south, yeah, we set our sails and that was it the whole way there.
You ready to turn the engine off?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Hopefully we don't have to turn it back on for the next day or 2.
Yeah.
Beauty night.
And it's perfect. So perfect.
Well, this is definitely the most amazing sunset we've had. It's so beautiful. Sailing down here is so different than the North Pacific. Sorry about the wind noise. This is why we try not to film with our iPhone, but we're so glad we did, or we would have no footage of this leg. What we've been through, Washington, Oregon, and Northern Cali, just was so crazy. We just never saw a sunset for 2 months, and yeah. This is a really welcome change. I'm stoked to be in Mexico. Woohoo! Wing on wing, Benny!
It's a bit blurry, but who cares?
Check that out!
Yo, Jimmy!
Well, it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun is coming up. It's kind of an overcast morning, so that might burn off. And it was just a really perfect night. got a little bit sporty on my shift from 11 to 1, I think. We did end up using our wind vane autopilot through the night, and I was pretty much hand steering with the little strings on it, which was kind of ridiculous. The sea state was just really messy. The sea state's totally settled out now, and it's a nice following sea, so it's much better and easier for the autopilot to navigate through. It was a fun night. We had a huge full moon, and then we had a lunar eclipse. I didn't even realize what was happening. Mick came up and he was like, it's really dark. I'm like, yeah, the moon just went behind some clouds. And he was like, it wasn't behind clouds, it was a lunar eclipse. I was like, oh. Yeah, and the kids have done awesome. Both of them were up through the night with us at different times, and that was really cool. And yeah, everyone's back asleep now.
Walk with me. Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find.
Well, day 2, there's not a whole lot going on, really. Just hanging out, reading. We have a rod and a hand line out, and we just not catching anything. This is very chill. How's it going, boys?
Good.
Dad, snack time. You guys having a good passage?
Yeah.
Pretty chill? How does this compare to when we were sailing up north? Way better? Yeah, I agree. Just needs to get a little bit warmer. I still get a bit chilled when I'm on watch out here. You know what the greatest update of all is?
What?
Your seasickness has totally gone away. The kids were getting so seasick there for a few weeks, and then we started staying at Anchor more and less at docks, and that really helped, didn't it? I don't get sick anymore.
There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand.
It's the morning of day 3, and it's looking really good, like we will arrive today. We weren't really sure, but we ripped through the night, like 7 to 9 knots all night long. Right on cue, as the sun comes up, the wind dies off a little bit, and we're kind of going 4 to 5 knots now. How'd you sleep?
Not very good. I don't know. Well, I slept like pretty good sleeping, but it just didn't really feel that right. I kept waking up.
I got all my buddies waking up to do the sunrise shift with me. It's pretty cool. Hey T, how'd you sleep?
Good.
Yeah, good. I love you.
Mick was around a lot for this passage, but he's much better than me and rarely films with the iPhone, so we don't have a lot of footage of him. But he was aboard, we promise.
This is pretty fun.
So we have Isla Cedros off of our starboard side. We decided to stop at Isla Cedros for a night and just check out this beautiful island, and I'm so glad we did. Well, that has been our most epic sail yet. It has officially come to an end though. Our anchorage is just over here somewhere. So we're dropping the jib and we've got the engine going, and we're gonna get in there, drop the hook and have a rest. Because tomorrow we head to Bahia Tortado. Bahia Tortada. Bahia Tortugas. Really need to get better at Spanish.
Straight into it, eh? Come to anchor, there's like no information on stuff. We've got to get used to that, don't we?
We do.
Everything being very vague. It even says in our chart book that most of the navigation aids are like 2 miles off, just because of when everything was plotted and marked out. Like it was just really vague.
Absolutely beautiful. Just stunning. Well, it was kind of a rolly night, not gonna lie, but it wasn't the worst anchorage we've been in. It is beautiful here. I don't know, last night it just really felt like we were in Mexico. It's weird, Ensenada felt just like overwhelming and crazy to me, but this feels like cruising Mexico, how I expected it. All the pangas ripping by, I think I got a shot of one of them last night, but they continued ripping by, but they go so fast by the time I get out here with the camera, they're gone. So they're like the local little fishing boats, and they're just all super friendly, give us a big wave, and yeah, I just can't even imagine going out in one of those into that big swell to fish. We're here. We made it. It's really cool. We're in cruiser's heaven now. That passage was unreal. I just kept saying to Mick, this is what I imagine this lifestyle being like. First couple months were pretty challenging. Like, we had some really good times, but it wasn't like the cruising lifestyle that I expected. It was very different. And, you know, sometimes you are wrong with your expectations. And so I think in the back of my mind, I was a little worried about what we had gotten ourselves into. The last passage was unreal. I just feel really fortunate to be out here. The kids are loving it. It just feels more settled, and we're getting a little better at this, and that takes off some of the unease as well. We're having a really quick coffee, a Cruising Meraki episode preview. We do this regularly. I edit them, and then Mick fine-tunes everything, and we all watch it together. And hopefully in Bahia Tortugas we can get this episode uploaded for you guys. We finally started to catch fish. We had our fishing line in the water all through California. We never caught anything.
The kids were starting to doubt their dad's fishing abilities. Why aren't you catching fish, Dad?
The line would just touch the water and the boat would be filled with a chorus of
Fish
on! We were mostly catching Pacific bonito, which we had heard were not great eating, but we decided to keep one anyway because we were catching so many of them, and it ended up being delicious.
I think it's my favorite fish.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone, like, tunas are like the best eating and everything, but the bonito is something I haven't really ever tasted, and
It's just simple and good.
You know, it was the way Mum cooked it.
yeah, probably, but it was so good.
So on this passage, we only caught a couple of small yellowfin tunas that we didn't keep. We had a really short stop in Turtle Bay. Wasn't really our favorite place. We wished we had just gone into the town of Isla Cedros and not bothered with Turtle Bay.
Yeah, so if you're coming down the coast, feel free to skip Turtle Bay. We didn't find anything. It wasn't our place.
No. Our friends on Jackdaw, they were catching up with us, and so we really wanted to get to Bahia Asuncion, and meet them there. And on our way to Bahia Asuncion, more fish!
Oh.
That was when we caught our yellowfin tuna.
Yeah.
We caught so many bonito. We were just releasing most of them because we got so picky that we were only keeping like massive ones.
Sunrise dolphins! Wow, I see like 30 on this side.
This is crazy! It's a big one, we think. He's running for it too. So we're trying to slow right down without being turned side into the little wake swells here.
It feels really light now. I can't even feel him anymore.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Asuncion really felt like rural Mexico. Fell in love with this colorful, friendly little town. We really enjoyed our time there. We got used to shopping in the tiny little markets and buying fresh tortillas from the tortilleria.
Tortilleria.
I always struggle with that word. Like, we were having these like amazing fish tacos with fresh bonito and fresh tortillas from the tortilleria, and it just was like, it was a really good time. And then it was on to the beautiful Bahia Santa Maria, which It is, if you make this trip, you have to stop there. It is so beautiful. It is a tiny, tiny, tiny seasonal fishing village. So the men that come in there to do the lobstering, they literally live in these little shacks, like plywood shacks. We also explored some amazing, our first mangrove forests. It was so beautiful and spectacular, the like lush green mangroves with the desert hills in the background. And we took our dinghy and we just kind of followed the mangrove trail through, and that was a really cool moment for me. It just felt like we were somewhere so foreign, and yeah, it was just really special.
You say take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night.
Then it was time to wrap up our Baja journey and head to Cabo San Lucas. How long was this passage?
I think same again.
2 nights again? Yeah, I think they were all 2 nights.
3 full days and 2 nights.
And just as we were leaving Bahia Santa Maria, we had this panga full of armed men come ripping towards us, and I was quite nervous.
This is like a big dinghy that had like a dozen people in there with helmets and like big machine guns.
It was freaky. It was the Navy, which we had heard the Navy often comes and checks on you. Sometimes they board your boat and make sure all your paperwork's in order and that kind of thing. We had some huge swell, so they didn't board our boat, but they did check in on us, and they ended up being just so friendly.
Yeah.
They just wanted us to know that they were in the area, and if we got into any trouble or needed any assistance, they were available to us.
Really nice guys.
Super nice. Nothing to worry about. But for us Canadians who never see people holding guns, it was very intimidating. Gracias!
Gracias.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
A little bit intimidating with their guns.
What I loved is that the guy was like nervous because he was trying to communicate in English, and he was like, oh.
I know.
Good morning. On night passages, we often have the kids wake up in the middle of the night and hang out with us. It's pretty fun. It's about 6:30 in the morning right now, so it's not the middle of the night anymore. And it's just me and Bentley on watch. And the sun is coming up, and it's beautiful. And we are...
And there's a flying fish on our back.
There is a flying fish on our deck. We're going to have to clean it off.
I want to do it.
Okay. We are 60 nautical miles from Cabo. And we're almost at the end of the Baja. It's crazy.
And as we neared Cabo, more dolphins!
Oh yeah.
But these dolphins were different, weren't they, Bentley?
They were bottlenose.
Yeah, we think they were bottlenose, or I read they might be what's called the common dolphin. I don't know what that means.
I really think they were bottlenose.
All right. But they were huge. Compared to the Pacific white-sided dolphins that we had been seeing all down the coast, these ones were huge!
Yeah, and not as many though. They're only in like
Yeah, smaller pods.
half a dozen or something.
Losing people, but I'm just gonna keep going. As we started to close in on Cabo, we all as a family started really reflecting on just what we had accomplished. For a family who had never done anything like this and had very little sailing experience, it really started to hit us that, you know, we had traveled over 2,200 nautical miles from Canada all down the United States coastline and all down the California Baja or the Mexican Baja. It really was like a crazy moment to reflect back and realize how far we had come and how much we'd grown and how much we'd learned, and it also made us really excited for the future and how much more learning and growing we have to do. So it just was like this really cool moment to reflect. We had this beautiful sunny day.
Oh
we
made cookies when we were entering Cabo.
We made cookies to celebrate. We just really took the time to just chill out that day and reflect and talk about what we had accomplished. It was a big deal. Our time in Cabo was insane. And if you have ever been to Cabo, you know that Cabo knows how to party. As we pulled into Cabo, there was a light show, there was a techno dance party. It was absolutely insane.
How are we supposed to sleep?
I don't know, we're so tired.
2, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
And we heard like this, we heard the beat and
The bass, it was
yeah, the beat.
reverberating
Yeah,
through Meraki.
As we got around the corner, we saw the lights, and it was awesome. Big
It was
concert.
crazy.
And I was really tired. Mom said to get in bed, but we just couldn't because it was
so loud. We were like, is this honest? Like, we'd heard Cabo was crazy, but is this what it's like every night? But no, it was only a 5-day festival, and we only caught the last 2 days of it, and it did get slightly calmer after that. The water in Cabo is crystal clear.
Oh yeah, you can see the bottom.
And turquoise. We could see our anchor. At this point, we were getting used to pretty warm water. I think in Santa Maria it was like 30 degrees, and then we got to Cabo and it was like 31, 32. Like, that's in Celsius. It was insane. It was like bathtub water.
Cabo is just a really interesting town with the nightlife, the party life. A few blocks back, it's just standard Mexico. The beaches were clear, they were sandy. You got the big pinnacles that make Cabo famous with the archways and all the rocks, the snorkeling. Cruise ships would come into the anchorage. Like, it just had everything.
It was wild.
And we got to see that.
We did. The energy on land at Cabo is like nothing else, and the sunrises are insane, and the water is beautiful. We can totally see why Cabo is such a popular destination.
For a week.
Yeah, but it was a lot, especially after being so isolated all the way coming down the Baja in these tiny little fishing villages, and then getting to like, it was just so crazy.
It was awesome.
So we provisioned up in Cabo. We also even rented a car, and we went to Todos Santos for a day, which was really, really fun.
Little artsy town.
After weeks of eating tons of fish and tortillas and tacos, we found a farm-to-table pizza place, and we were so excited. Okay, I know I said that I would not complain about our lost footage anymore, but if there is any footage I am most sad about losing, it has to be the footage of our next stop, which was Isla Isabela. So once we were all provisioned up, we planned to cross the Sea of Cortez, and on our way, it was pretty much the whole way across, we stopped at a little island called Isla Isabela. And this island is kind of known to be Mexico's Galapagos Island. The passage to Isla Isabela was again 2 nights. It was not our favorite passage. It was pretty brutal, actually. We had waves on the beam pretty much the entire passage. I mean, we sailed the whole way. It was good sailing, but none of us were super excited about it.
No, we kept seeing fronts coming down from the north, and there's a big channel down into the sea, and it was like 5 knots of wind or like 15 to 20, and we took the stronger winds. They weren't strong, but what it did was just kick the sea state up and made it a bit uncomfortable. We were able to sail pretty much the whole way, but
it was just the sea state that was
chucked us around a bit, but it was good.
How you doing, senor?
Pretty good. Woke up not feeling the greatest. And then I came up to relieve you, and you weren't feeling the greatest. You're sliding around.
Yes.
So the predicted winds for this trip were 16 to 18 gusts to 24 at their peak. And last night I saw a max of sustained about 15, 16 gusting to 20, 21. So I don't know if we went past that after I checked. I checked on our little anemometer.
Oh.
Yeah, we just ended up running through the night, double reefed main.
Just our main.
Just our main.
Because when we had our main and jib up, how fast were we going? We were holding 8 knots.
Yeah, 8 knots and moving along pretty quick, and it was at that stage where if it got windier, it would have been difficult to get the sail down, and it did, so it was a good thing we did, otherwise we'd be there by now. Kids are doing great. Mum and Dad could be doing a bit better. I think just the fresh air and daylight will help us.
Yeah. Is this your new talent? Already like we're in the Galapagos. Birds circling us, humpbacks jumping all around us. Pretty cool spot. That's a crazy looking rock, isn't it? We snorkeled and we hiked and we saw our first blue-footed boobies.
Yeah, they were great.
Oh my gosh, they are the funniest birds. They're so cute. Isla Isabella welcomed us with a constant whale show. You could not sit out in the cockpit and not see and hear whales feeding, swimming along with their babies. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, the noises were just great to hear inside the boat.
You could be in the boat and hear them through the hull. It was honestly such an amazing stop. We hope you enjoyed that. We're sad that we couldn't show you more intimately what the journey was through Mexico.
Imagine it in your head.
It just was really, really special.
I don't know if they can imagine it in their head how awesome, crazy.
Pretty
it was.
hard. If you're planning to do this, which I think a lot of our followers are, it's take your time. Provision well before you leave Ensenada. We made the mistake of not provisioning enough. We made it work. There are, like in in Asuncion, there's somewhere you can get groceries, but
they're like corner stores.
It's very tough. So we just made it work, and we ate lots of fish. I was really sick of fish when we got down the Baja.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.